Doherty, and today I am honored to share with you an interview that I did with Dr. Andrew Torres. I will go ahead and let him introduce himself so he can explain about his career in the area of instructional technology.
I started teaching back in 1986. Actually, my introduction into instructional technology began in my undergrad back in 1984, 80 and 85. My university was one of the sort of the um, pioneers for instructional technology use in at least in the state of Oregon, where I'm from, and began playing with Logo as one of our coursework requirements. There was actually an instructional technology component that was added to the program the year that I started. I was the first person in my undergrad graduating class to actually have a word processor. I had an Apple IIc that I had an interface toward to a electric typewriter, which turned the electric typewriter into a printer. And so the college professors were complaining to me because my papers were so long at the time. And I began experimenting with different word processing programs on 5.25-inch floppy disks and saving my files to data disks that are, that had you could fit like three or four word processing documents on a disk. My principal found out that I had a computer because I would bring my computer into school every once in a while when I needed to do work, and I wanted to do it on my own on a computer instead of like handwriting it or whatever. And so I started playing with it, and he noticed that I was pretty good with computers at the time, and so we we started doing technology classes. And so here I was, like a first year teacher, doing professional development courses for teachers in the computer lab at my school for teachers who had had like 25 and 30 years of experience. And I continued to be heavily involved in technology through my teaching career. I was a building level technology coordinator for a while in an elementary school. And then that opened up other doors. I finished my master's degree in instructional technology with an instructional technology focus. I have a Master of Arts in Teaching with an instructional technology focus. And again, did my entire master's degree presentation on a program called HyperCard, which was a big sort of precursor to, hyperlinked spreadsheets and all the concepts behind that. I went and got my but with the encouragement of others, I went and got my administrative certification. But because of my background in technology and my interest in it, I was just sort of pushed the use of tech in my schools in some way, shape, or form. And so we would, it's when I took my first overseas job in the Middle East. I figured out a way to get enough money in my budget to buy my entire junior and senior class of my high school Palm Pilots with keyboards, and we did a precursor one-to-one program with Palm Pilots for our students. That was in 2003 and 2004, and 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 we pirated internet out of the sky off of satellite dishes in Saudi Arabia, where we weren't supposed to even have internet, and we sort of pushed the boundaries quite a bit.
Dr. Torres's daily duties changed with the various instructional technology leadership roles he held. Because of his early adopter nature, he seemed to focus on funding and budgeting for the use of technology and the support structures needed to ensure consistency of implementation in his organizations.
Then when I moved to Asia, again, found a school that was well behind, 5 to 6 years behind even what we had in Saudi Arabia. And during my 9 years at that school, I took over the supervision of the instructional technology programs at that school. I worked with the technology facilitators that had been newly appointed in positions that were newly created, built leadership structures in. We moved a one-to-one program into the school across the two campuses and 3,000 students. Had laptops in hands of students from grades 4 through grade 12 at that school, and had a really strong core of instructional technology coordinators and leaders and coaches, along with one single level, high level school district coordinator or a technology manager of sorts. Then in 2016, I took another job back in the Middle East for a while. Again, ramped up the tech program at that school, developed a strong social media campaign and program at that school, implemented a wide-reaching laptop program where all the students were able to basically have a toolbox of technology tools that allowed them um, to be more effective in their
You
learning,
know,
frankly.
obviously you've had a breadth of experiences, and with where you are in the field right now, do you see your primary role as kind of organizing support for all of the people that could be and would be using technology in your schools?
What I do is I establish a vision for what quality support
Mhm.
looks like. I provide the resources and the space for people to develop programs of support for classroom teachers. Um, I am a model for the use of technology in my school and enthusiastically demonstrate the use of instructional technology in all of my work.
Mhm.
I'm vocal about it and promote it in that way, not by just saying, this is great, you should do it, but actually doing it myself. And make sure that I hire the right people to guide and lead the implementation of that program. And those are people that have to be aligned with the school mission, the school culture, but also have that inventive, innovative, risk-taking mentality that is going to allow them to, you know, joyfully, pursue excellence in technology.
Mm.
Right now I don't have any intention of retiring. I think I'm having a good time enjoying the international school business. I think it's a more positive space, at least for me,
Mhm.
right now. And frankly, there's a lot of options and a lot of opportunities, and so uh, I just love getting to know different cultures and different spaces in the world. And this gives me the opportunity to sit down with interesting people and make big plans and enthusiastically support them and watch amazing things happen.
Can you talk a little bit about how you've contributed to instructional technology in K 12 schools overall, even beyond your own school?
I mean, I do that through people. I do that through supporting individuals and people and making sure that they have like I said, the space and the resources to make wonderful things happen. I remember that first year in Asia that we were rolling out laptops. I worked with Apple Professional Development and was able to finagle and push to get all of our instructional technology leaders into the Apple Distinguished Educator Program for that year. I know some of those folks have gone off to be, professional educators, professional consultants. They've worked at other schools. They're high-level leaders, and they all carry with that expertise that we developed in that one school. Right now, I find the most rewarding thing is figuring out how to appropriately take in feedback from students, from teachers, from parents about encapsulating that into a way that's understandable, looking for patterns. I mean, social media, frankly, is a big challenge for all schools right now, and I think that it's driving a lot of negativity. Um, I think that there are parts of our organizations who wish to listen to only to social media, and nothing else. One of my favorite blog writers, he's an author that I listen to and read often, George Couros, has this saying, it's like, make the positive so loud that it drowns out all the negatives.
Right.
And negatives need to be listened to, but they also need to be understood for what they are.
Do you feel that your education has really provided you with the skills necessary to be in this job? In what ways has it prepared you, and then in what ways has it not prepared you?
You don't go to school to learn how to operate and run a school in a pandemic or any kind of crisis. They
No.
don't teach you that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, the best I can say is that higher ed, and particularly graduate school, teaches you a lot about perseverance and persistence. If that's an underlying message or an underlying lesson that all graduate students get, then that serves you well. And then the work continues. I think we still see a lot of need for high level strategic leadership, making sure that you have the appropriate levels of instructional technology support that stems from not just the technical side, but also from the teacher support side. And it's falls along the lines of the implementation without resources and without support just leads to teacher cynicism, and they just don't want to, they're not going to move it forward. But if you have ample support, not um, canes, and not just ways for people to just feel like they just need the support all the time, because that's just enabling, not enabling support, but empowering support. Then you're gonna have more success in the classrooms.